Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things, and today I am going to share with you 4 ways to make multiples of the same card the most efficient, fastest way possible. I ended up getting in a bind. I was waiting for an order to come, and I had already signed up, I think in April, early in April, for a swap, a mail swap, not a shoebox and person swap. Though even with a mail swap, it makes no difference. And I realized over the weekend, before I was supposed to mail everything out on Monday, that my order was just not even going to come. I was kind of giving it Monday to get here. So I waited till the last minute, which I am not comfortable with doing. I am also not a fast crafter, as you've probably heard many times. And I also do not like making the same exact card multiple times. I can do it maybe 2 or 3 times, but at that point I start changing. So I have 4 ways that I have used to speed up what I'm doing, as well as make the process of making those cards as least repetitive as possible. Okay, so step 1. When you die cut and you dry emboss, do multiples. So this is 2 sheets. You can even play with doing 3 sheets. I am most comfortable with 2, and I even have an example. So this cut out 2, you do tend to get a little bit of like a warpage or some of the lines from the die coming through because of the tight finish, but in a pinch, if I am making multiples, I still would be happy with both of those. I will show you with my swap. I don't have any of the finished swaps because I was so in a hurry that I did not make myself finished cards, but I do have pieces that I can show you of what I did do. I would recommend that you stick with more basic shapes, and one particular swap I created. Here are my multiples that I did, and I had to do 11 cards. So I went ahead and did multiples of these circles without any issue, doing 2, and then this one is just a demo to show you what it looks like because I'm working on another project with it. And this was the second one that I did, and I was able to successfully do 2, and then I used the take your pick tool to brush out and then pop out all of the bits from the double layer. So you can do more complicated die cuts. Just be ready to have to work a little bit harder. I don't know if, I still think it's a time savings from doing them individually, especially if you have bad hands like me that you really don't want to end up overusing your hands by making tons of cards. So this actually saves not only your mind on doing repetitive, but it also saves your body as well. And I'm looking for some pieces, so I'm gonna have to go away and come back because I actually need those pieces for another step I want to share with you. All right, I am back. So I've shown step 1, how to save time with die cutting. Do multiples, at least 2, play with 3. Because the weight of the basic white is a little bit thinner than, I think it's about 65 pounds versus 80 pounds, you're probably going to struggle with getting 3 of the 80 pound, but I think you might be able to slip in 3 of the 65 pound. Number 2, using the same machine, dry embossing. And when you dry emboss, you can definitely get 2, sometimes even 3. So I have painted texture here today. I have ran it through the embossing and want to show you side by side the difference when you run through 2. I think they're pretty darn close. Oh, the sun is, we've got the sun, the setting sun. So you can see that the depth I know that the left one was underneath. There maybe is a hair difference, but remember, you're going to put a bunch of stuff on the top of it. So I would still say for doing multiples, you're going to cover up most of the front. So I think you're going to be fine with 2 to 3. So that is the second way. The third way now is when you want to repeat stamp. The best way that I have found to repeat stamp when you've got to do perfect placement is to use washi, tape down one of your pieces. You already saw that I did circles, and I did 11 of them. I have these show when I did the actual stampings. Well, one of them I was actually toying with these two sizes of circles. I ended up going with this larger one. Then I went ahead, this is what I stamped, and I did 2 colors. So you place your stamps over here on the left. You can easily do the 2 colors using spots. I did have to use for this new blue color. I have not bought re-inkers yet. I do have my Stampin' Spot uninked spots, but not the re-inkers. So the top was done with a full-size pad, and the bottom was done with a Night of Navy spot. So I feel that spots are just easier to work with, but given that I didn't have spots, I had to use my full-size pads. This still went very quickly, doing 2 colors, repeat stamping with the circle. Absolutely the fastest way to stamp and make sure that you do not have to start over with your stamping. And then the last step. When you are using trim, use the trim in the simplest way possible. Don't do any knots and don't do any bows. Certainly if you feel that your creation must have a bow, that is fine. But if you are going for efficiency and you are in a time crunch like I was, I found 2 ways to make a very nice trim treatment without taking a ton of time. The first one is really easy. You simply use your trim in a strip. You can do like a horizontal across to make it like a wainscot treatment, or the way I did it was vertically, and it looks like a piece of paper, but it isn't. I have a matching green base just to show you kind of how it looks. This isn't the color that it went on, but I wanted you to see how attractive it is to have the texture showing with the piece that I put it on. I do have the cards, by the way, photographed, and they will be at the end. So even though I don't have the live cards to show you because I sent them off, and I do have photography to show you. The second treatment I did, this is a rough sample of what the second card is. I had the boho blue trim, and for the boho blue trim, a very nice, I don't know what you would call it, but this is just a really nice treatment that you can have. I have to add a dot really quick to it. And I took and made a nice little flag banner edge and just tucked it in. This particular one is a, I don't remember the pin. There was a pin that I mimicked, and they used this. So this little tip, I was very grateful for Pinterest. That's another great place to get ideas from if you were under a time crunch. So both of these particular trims were very nice looking and added to the piece, because I did also, you'll see, I added embellishments as well. I just added a couple of dots as well as trim. We were only required, this particular one only required one accessory, and I went ahead and did two, because I am a stickler in my own crafting for having trim and some sort of embellishment. If it's a masculine card, these are really good tips. These two ways of using trim work really well for masculine cards as well, versus a knot or a bow. All right, so that's all I've got. I hope that these 4 efficiency tips will work for you. Let me know if I've missed any. You can put them here in the comments. Again, photography at the end will show you what my final versions of my cards were. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.